full collaboration and support. We will provide technical expertise on animal identification and movement patterns to any assigned or established teams. We will also work closely with the Department of Forestry to integrate sustainable grazing models into their enforcement strategies and support the crucial capacity building programs for security agencies. On point 4, that is on community participation and support. This is the heart of a sustainable solution. We will immediately begin working with the Ministry of Lands and local government to develop a framework for empowering traditional authorities and establishing local mediation teams. We particularly welcome the focus on supporting women farming groups. My ministry will work on designing specific programs for livelihood restoration, including access to improved seeds, small-scale irrigation, and insurance scheme to mitigate losses from livestock intrusions. Ongoing projects such as the roots and giraffe will be encouraged to factor this in identifying beneficiaries for support. On point 5, which is environmental management. We fully concur with the environmental sustainability and transhumance must go hand in hand. In partnership with the Ministry of Environment, we will promote and demonstrate controlled grazing and rotational systems to communities. We will also champion the proposed community-led reforestation campaign in critically degraded areas. Honorable members, the path is clear. The implementation of these recommendations requires a whole-of-government approach, and critically, the continued partnership, support, and oversight of this August Assembly. We will require legislative support and budgetary allocations to run these plans into realities. My ministry is prepared to lead this effort with commitment and urgency. We owe it to our farmers, our herders, and all Gambians to ensure that this vital economic activity becomes a source of national prosperity and unity rather than conflict. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable members, pursuant to Order 48.6 of the Standing Orders, and let me quote, after the statement has been delivered in the Assembly, a period of questions on the statement, which shall last no more than 1 hour, may then ensue. The Speaker shall determine the period taking into consideration the content of the statement, the number of members wishing to ask questions, and the pressure of other businesses. In this circumstance, may I now invite honorable members to ask questions relating to the Minister's statement. I have a list of members who want to ask questions. Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, out of the recommendations made by the committee, have your ministry started implementing any of these recommendations? If yes, can you please highlight?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Bakau. Yes, the ministry has started, and we will start with point 1 of my response in the report. If you look at on policy and legal framework, I think in my response, I've made it very clear the steps taken already in developing a policy framework. Also, part of the implementation on response 2, on the infrastructure and service. We've mentioned the work already done by the Small Ruminant Project in creating pasture fields, and also identification of 600 hectares that the Roots Project is supporting as part of response to minimize and mitigate the effects of transhumant activities. Also, if you look at areas on the community participation, which is point 4, already began work with the Ministry of Local Government through our projects for local participation. And I think these and so many other ones are things that already started, and we will definitely implement the report as recommended by the committee. Some of them require legislative transformation, and some of them require budgetary allocation. And I think part of my response, the last sentence, was urging or pleading with the Honorable August Assembly to support the ministry with our legislative transformation and also budgetary allocation to the Department of Livestock Services to be able to implement the recommendations in full. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister and the committee. Honorable Minister, you talk of policy. Do you have any policy in place that will, domestically, that will monitor the entering of these animals in our territory? And if there are quarantine measures to see whether the animals are not affected with disease before they enter in the Gambia? The last one will be on the pasture you're talking about. You know, the pastures that we have, they are limited. We also have our own ruminants in the Gambia. Is it reciprocate whether our animals also are allowed in the other part of Senegal to graze on their land? Whether the policy cover that?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Badibu. In my response, point 1 on policy, I said, it is obvious that there is no comprehensive national transhumance policy in effect in the Gambia. I think that was very clear in the response. However, steps are being taken to develop one, and I think that those steps have been outlined. That is the development of the tools that the Department of Livestock is working on so that we can eventually develop a policy. But as we speak, there is no national policy. The second point of your question is the fact that we have limited grazing sites and whether it's reciprocal that when our animals go across the border. Transhumance activities should first be viewed as a local thing. There's a lot of transhumance activities that are happening within the Gambia, that herders may move from Badibu to Nyani or from Nyani to Nyamina. There's a lot of that happening in the country, and we should view it from that perspective first. In terms of our animal or herd owners that go across the country, traditionally, there used to be a lot more of our people going across the border than the number of people coming into the Gambia. But because of the improvement with the watering facilities and the grazing sites, the number of our people going across the border has minimized. However, our people still go across the country. Policy is always local. There cannot be a policy that will affect what happens in another country. Policy will always be within. And if you remember, in 2023 or 2024, we passed the Animal Health Bill in this country. The Animal Health Bill empowers the Department of Livestock Service to enforce quarantine measures where they find it necessary. So they already have the tools to do that, and I think they are in touch with the communities locally using that act, that power they have, to enforce quarantine activities if there is a need for that. Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite the Honorable Member for Kiang East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question is already addressed. So, Honorable Member for Central Badibu has addressed part of the question that I want to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Kiang East. I now invite the Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Minister, for adhering to the committee's recommendations or the resolutions. Honorable Minister, I just wanted to know, because the the response to the recommendations that you just reported to the National Assembly looks beautiful, and when implemented, this will be of a very good benefit to the Gambian people, more especially on a point where you talked about giving support to the ministry giving support to the women group farmers. So I just wanted to know, apart from the proposed budget, request that will be forwarded to the National Assembly, if this becomes part of it, apart from that, do you have any other support different from that? And if so, when will the support also be effective if it is passed in the National Assembly budget, or any external support that you may be having? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for SANE mentoring. You mentioned two sources of support. One is from the GLF, that is the one potentially to be allocated by the National Assembly. If the National Assembly allocates the budget in the coming, the funds in the coming budget, we can assure you that the Department of Livestock Services and the Ministry will definitely extend the support to the women farmers in the coming agricultural year. However, for donor support is contingent on availability, and we cannot be time bound on that one. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, part of the issues the report highlighted were not only limited to some of the areas you've talked about, but I have realized that issues of conflict is not been addressed amongst the transhumans and the indigents of various communities where the joint committee visits. Environmental damages also, because if you cut a tree in the Gambia deliberately without following the due process, is a crime. If you wound somebody deliberately, is a crime. So all of these things are crime in our own country, in our internal laws. And all these are some of the things that are happening on the ground, but these things are not addressed, and these things require no budget to be able to address, and they are more pressing issues than, in fact, the policy issues. And lastly, that one is regulatory issue with respect to your staffs that you have on ground. There are contacts that they are having with the transhumans as well as the indigents to ensure that these people are regulated before they go in and out. It's also a bigger challenge which is going across, which is not addressed. Can you please talk to Assembly about that?
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Kiang West. You mentioned 3 points in your deliberation: environmental damage, crime, and the issue of going in and out. As indicated in my response, the issue of transhuman is a whole of government approach. And I think you are fully aware that counterpart ministers are required to come and give deliberation regarding the same report. The issue of environmental damage will wholly be answered by the Minister of Environment once he comes to respond to this report, and I think she is scheduled to come and respond on this report. That will not fall under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Agriculture. When we talk about the issue of crime, I think this is where, even in the report, it is clearly mentioned that the Ministry of Interior is a major stakeholder, and I think they are the lead in issues of crime and issues of how people come in and out of this country. That will not be controlled or be adjudicated by the Ministry of Agriculture. Nonetheless, we pay special attention to this, but these are under a different ministry. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Berefet.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you for responding to our committee. I have one question on what you measured, your response number 2 on the infrastructure. You mentioned that the small ruminal project has already established almost 20 water facilities across the country, which is very good. I appreciate that a lot. But these transhumans who always come to the Gambia, they are not from the Gambia. You know, Gambian people are doing that, but most of these hunters are not from the Gambia. They are from Senegal. The livestock, Sumo Rominal established in 20 water facilities is in the Gambia here. And these people will keep coming to the Gambia. What is your ministry going to do in order to remedy this situation? Because these people, whenever they are coming, they don't come with empty hands. They don't come with only animals, but they normally come with weapons. In terms of security, I'm talking about here. I'm happy that you mentioned about the Ministry of Interior, but how are the ministry ready to help our people down there in terms of security? Because when these people are coming, they always come with weapons, and they are always ready to wound our people.
Yes. And you also discussed about the scheduling bilateral technical meeting with the counterpart, that is the Senegalese. How soon will that happen? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Fonyi Berefet. I think in my response, if you have my response with you, look at point 3 on security and border management. While the lead agency is the Ministry of Interior, my ministry pledges full cooperation and support. We will provide technical expertise on animal identification and movement patterns to any established team. So just to reiterate my previous response, the issue of security coming with weapons, that cannot be addressed by agriculture. That can be addressed by the Ministry of Interior or at the high level, maybe defense. So, and again, I want you to see transhumance as a local thing first. Look, the 80% of the animals that are moving, that you see when you're walking and thinking they are non-Gambians, are really Gambians. There's a lot of animal movement within this country, you know, even before you talk of animals coming from across, from the other end. Nonetheless, in my response, we say transhuman is not a problem. It's been here for 1,000 years. It is going to be here for a long, long, long time. How we manage it, the lack of a policy, how we manage it, I think is more of the problem than the activity itself. And I think we should view it in that way. Thank you.
Honorable members, I think let's get it clear. The Honorable Minister said to us that he agreed there is no policy. No policy. They are trying to develop one. And they will need the support of the Assembly. And that will be followed by legislation, laws to back the policy up. So until those things are done, it's only what he has told us, the connections and contacts they will be doing to try to see how they manage. But until those legislations and policies are brought forward, then we'll be able to know what are the shortfalls in the policy and the legislation that we can add up to. Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister. In your response, you have taken some commitments, and most of those commitments requires funds. And in the same response, you indicated that you are depending on the National Assembly to allocate those funds. And knowing how the budget works, and you are a member of the executive, and the budget reflects the policies and programs of the government. As a National Assembly, we cannot create new budget lines. So during your budget call circular with the ministry, is your ministry prepared to advance all these commitments that you have taken? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Serekunda. Yes, you are right. All our these transformation are premised on the availability of the budget allocation. We do not intend to create any new budget line. In my response, I pleaded with you to enhance the budgetary allocation for the development funds of the Department of Livestock Service. That is a budget line that already exists, and that is the line we intend to use to implement this report. So my call to the Assembly is to support the development funds to the Department of Livestock Services.
Honorable Member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, in your report, you mentioned that you will be meeting with the counterpart in Senegal to review the agreement and the strength. Can you please inform this August Assembly? When are you going to conduct, your ministry is going to conduct that meeting?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Member for Sami. In my response, I think I made it very clear that 2 weeks ago, the technical team of the Department of Livestock Services of Senegal were in country and had series of engagements with my Department of Livestock Service on a series of issues, including transhuman activities. So the activity has already taken place. Probably this report was prepared over 2 weeks ago and was in there. That's why it's handwritten with my copy here, and that's why I reported it verbally to you that already the Department of Services of Senegal, of Livestock Services of Senegal, were already in country just 2 weeks ago. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Bondali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for giving those wonderful response. On your response on community participation and support, which talked about supporting women groups. I would also like to ask whether the communities or the villages that have already applied for gardenings be factored in this, roots gardens, will they be factored in this program?
Honorable Speaker, order 29(1), every member shall restrict his or her observation to the subject under discussion. The subject under discussion is transhumance, not about the gardens.
Order,
No.
on what? Honorable, your point of order is sustained. Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for the responses that you've provided. But this issue that is under discussion really affects my constituency, Sabak Sanjal. Definitely, I thank you very much for those water facilities that you have provided. I'm a living witness. One of my communities, which was really affected as far as this transhumance is concerned, really benefited from these water facilities, and which is Dibakunda. Honorable Minister, you made mention that on community participation and support, your ministry is willing to work with the Ministry of Local Government and Lands. I just want to bring your attention to this. That is the Local Government Act of 2002 under Section 54(2) gives the local councils legislative powers, and Section 67(2)(e) made mention of an agricultural committee that is to be set up under the local government council. And the same council should be helping on agricultural issues to make policies. The honorable member for Central Baribu mentioned about the policy that is to be implemented under your ministry as far as taking care of this issue of transhumance is concerned. So my question is your ministry willing to coordinate and work with the local councils to make sure that a policy is developed at their level, so that the issue of transhumance is controlled at the local council level? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal. When we mention policy, it becomes a national issue. It will not be regional or local. However, at the local level, like I mentioned in my report, there are a lot of local conventions that have been developed, and previous projects, let's say, for example, adapting agriculture to climate change project, has helped the development of about 10 of these local conventions. I think the issue has been more of enforcement, since it is a whole of government approach. I think implementation has been a challenge. And again, these transhumans there's a lot of interpersonal relationships that are involved in this. It is difficult to be so harsh as probably others would wish so for people from Nyani who just cross the river and go to Nyamina. These are Gambians. And they are transhumans. Yes, I know you are not talking about them, Honorable, but the word transhuman is both local and international. So, and if you are talking of the international, most villages that are coming, they are not coming 300 kilometers from the interior of another country. They are almost just a village across the border or two villages across the border. Just like how our own cattle herders have walked across the border in times of need. So I think the solution will be the nationwide policy development and the transformation of our legislations so that they can be up to date and address this in a human way, in a way that it will be beneficiary for both the farmers, the herders, and the general economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, don't have fears about that. Council legislation must be informed by an act of parliament. Where it goes contrary to the act of parliament, to that extent, it is null and void. So where you have a legislation here, an act of parliament here, and a different one at the local councils own, this one takes precedence. Yes?
Speaker.
No, wait.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. Honorable Speaker, one thing that I want to put to the Minister, sometimes these people move far away. It's not just like you cross borderline, you get to the other village. They come far away. So I think thorough research needs to be done on this matter.
Don't have fears. The Honorable Minister said there will be consultations, inputs, and all these things will be put together. And then if it is going to be in the form of a legislation also, it will come to you. And then you look at it, you will add or delete and then do whatever is necessary to make sure it is better informed. Yes, Honorable Member, somebody was talking. Is it Sabak?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. You are very right that they cannot make laws that are not inconsistent with primary legislations, I will call them. But according to the Local Government Act, they have what you call legislative powers to make bylaws, which are not supposedly to be inconsistent with primary legislations like the Local Government Act, which I understand very well. But what I'm trying to put here is that they should be able to make some kind of resolutions at their level to be able to control, some of the irregularities that are happening within their councils. But in making certain regulations or certain laws, fine, it shouldn't be, of course, not inconsistent with the primary legislation or the constitution. I agree 100% with you, but then the resolutions, the National Assembly has given them powers to make some resolutions as far as the Local Government Act of 2002 is concerned.
Honorable, yes, you see, National Assembly has its delegated power. We have delegated that power to them, and it must conform with whatever the Constitution or the Acts of Parliament say. If it is resolutions, resolutions must also speak to those languages. If the resolution is within those ambits, then they are right to do it. All what I'm saying is they cannot go contrary to established laws, acts of parliament. This is what I'm saying. Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I really thank you for this response and your agreement with the recommendations and your ability also to fully implement them. In fact, if you look at the response, there are a lot of partnership with sister ministries like Lands Ministry, the Environment Ministry, and that of the Interior. But one fundamental thing that is absent, because in your response, you laid emphasis on the assistance of the National Assembly in terms of legislation and in terms of budgetary allocations. And you are very much in position to understand, I'm sure you have already started the budget bilateral. And you are saying, let us put it in the development budget of the livestock. If you look at it, whether you have requested or what you have requested, are you getting that? But the bilateral started with you at that level before it comes. So now what we are saying, your engagement with the Ministry of Finance is extremely important to create a chart of account where if this amount is not there, the Select Committee on Agriculture can chip in and put in something so that we can start this thing, because this is a menace. The entire country is affected. So the Ministry of Finance cannot be out of it. And they are major partners. And if that is not also happening, look at all the projects, because all the projects that are coming, the entire development budget goes there. Do you have any means in those budget lines to use it to help work on this transhumance? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Brikama South. I totally concur with you that the Ministry of Finance is cardinal in this, and I think that is a given. So the technicians are here, and I think their engagement with the Ministry of Finance will continue regarding the budget. However, whatever we prepare up there as a budget is subject to changes here in this National Assembly. So just because whether we put it in there or not, the committee has recognized the need. And in my response, we've also indicated clearly that our response or our efficiency will be tapped based on the resources allocated. So I think we are looking forward to that support from the National Assembly. Nonetheless, the projects, if you look at my response on point 4, community participation and support, we've even indicated the role of the project, let's say the Roots project and Giraffe project on the response point 4. So all these are potential sources of support for implementation of the report, but nonetheless, the support that is expected from the National Assembly and the Ministry of Finance is central. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Let me thank the honorable minister. Speaker. Agriculture. Hello. Who's shouting? Yes, Brikama South.
Make this clarification with the minister in respect to this issue of budgetary allocation. The reason why I'm emphasizing, you are very much aware about the issue of recapitalization of JGC, which was very central and it has been accepted. We had a series of engagement ourselves as a committee with the finance minister, and up till today it hasn't taken place. And in fact, so that is why I'm saying creation of chart of account is extremely important for us to log in.
Can you say that again?
And the creation of chart of account, which is done by the Ministry of Finance. Yes, they put in money. That is the budget line.
Honorable, can you say it again so that we hear?
The chart of account, I'm saying the budget line. But keep quiet, let me. I'm talking about a budget line where that can be created by the Ministry of Finance. So that if you come here, it's going to be easy for us to even look at within the Ministry of Agriculture and cut somewhere and put it in this account for this to take place.
Honorable, you know, you cannot create a budget line for all the issues. That's why they have a development budget. He's asking you to put some money, if it is 100 there, and you want to give them $10 is for this one, you put 110. That's what he's asking you. But you want to create a budget line for all the key, small issues coming up. So, Honorable Minister, thank you very much. We very much appreciate your responses. Very clear and very, very promising indeed. And honorable members, thank you very much for your participation, your contributions, and your questions. Honorable Minister, thank you. Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Orders 47, 48, and 100, oral minister's reply. Minister's reply to the report of the National Assembly Select Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development, follow-up tour on the implementation of the resolutions passed by the National Assembly on the matter of the SECOs by the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security.
Honorable members, after the adoption of the report of the National Assembly Select Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development follow-up tour on the implementation of the resolutions passed by the National Assembly on the matter of the SECOs in the previous sessions, the report was submitted to government in particular to the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security's consideration and reply as per Order 100 of the Standing Orders of the National Assembly. Accordingly, the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security is scheduled today for reply to the report. May I now invite the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security to take the podium and make his statement. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, honorable members of this August Assembly. On behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture and the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, I wish to express our sincere appreciation to the honorable members of the Select Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development under the chairmanship of Honorable Ms. Dabo for their recent oversight visit from the 28th of April to the 4th of May 2025. The committee's assessment has provided valuable insight into the progress achieved as well as the challenges and gaps in the implementation of resolutions previously passed by this August Assembly regarding the operations of SECOs and the groundnut trade season. We have carefully reviewed the committee's recommendation and wish to report as follows. Number one, improvement of the electronic payment system. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, in collaboration with the financial service providers, has commenced the process of improving the electronic payment system. For instance, the corporation engaged financial service providers to have more contact with cash-out agents to ensure access to cash and timely payment to farmers in all catchment areas. This will ensure efficiency. This will ensure efficiency, reliability, and accessibility across all regions to facilitate seamless on-site payments. Number two, capacity building for SECO leaders. The ministry acknowledges the need for continuous capacity building. Preparations are being made to provide training for SECO presidents and relevant personnel on the effective use of electronic payment platforms, that's mobile money, and the management of the new electronic screening machines, thereby enhancing efficiency and accountability. Point three is transparency in financial transactions. The introduction of an electronic payment system, mobile money, has been a transition from a manual system to an automated payment system. All disbursements are done by SECO presidents directly to the farmers through their mobile money wallets. However, we will continue to conduct capacity building for the SECO presidents on financial reporting for effective use of their respective mobile money wallets. Point four, provision of modern screening equipment. The corporation has plans to buy standardized and modern screening equipment powered by a diesel motor. The equipment will be supplied to all SECOs before the commencement of the next trading season, and payment by the SECOs will be done over time through their commissions. Also, strict enforcement will be applied to ensure mandatory screening. Point five, enhanced oversight by the Department of Cooperative Development. Over the past months, the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation has tremendously supported the Department of Cooperative Development to strengthen the capacity and regularize SECOs in accordance with the cooperative management standards and best practice. Point six is the settlement of outstanding payments. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation recognized the importance of timely payment. All outstanding payments due to farmers for the 2024 trade season were duly settled. However, most of the SECOs still owes the corporation a significant amount of money due to shortages in court. Steps are being taken to recover these outstanding balances in accordance with agreement to maintain operational stability and trust among stakeholders. In view of the above, The corporation is in consultation with stakeholders to select only SECOs with good track record for the 2025 trade season. Point 7 is the provision of operational tools to new SECOs. Arrangements are being made to ensure that all newly established SECOs are adequately provided with the requisite operational tools, including weighing scales, automated screening machines, and the handheld POS device to capture data and improve efficiency at the SECO level. Point 8, mandatory screening enforcement at the depot. The National Foods Security Processing and Marketing Corporation will implement strict enforcement to ensure that no depot accept groundnut that have not been screened at the SECO level, thereby safeguarding quality assurance and market credibility. The quality control staff stationed in all the depots will assess all groundnut and with high foreign materials will be rejected at the depot. Point number 9, rehabilitation of depots. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation acknowledges the urgent need for depot rehabilitation and has currently undertaken significant renovations at its depots. For instance, the wharf at Basse South and Bunyadu have been rehabilitated. The fixed conveyor at Tendaba has been renovated. The installation of a new fuel tank and renovation of the storage bin at the Kaur depot is ongoing and near completion. All way bridges at the depots have been converted from analog to the world-renowned Mela Toledo digital way bridges to ensure accuracy and world-class standards in weighing. All these investments were undertaken to meet acceptable operational and safety standards in the handling of groundnut and other commodities. However, the corporation requires financial support to rehabilitate the dilapidated warehouses that have been in existence for over 50 years. Point number 10 is improvement of maritime transport infrastructure. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation support the strengthening of maritime transport. As mentioned in point 9 above, the Basse South and Bunyadu wharves have been successfully rehabilitated. Also, maintenance have been carried out for the 2 tugboats and all barges of the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation. A gearbox has been bought for the Senela tugboat that has not been operational for the past 7 years. The corporation requires financial support to procure a new fleet of tugboat and barges. Point number 11 is fulfillment of the recapitalization commitment. The recapitalization is still not forthcoming, even after Cabinet's approval. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation emphasized the importance of this recapitalization in enhancing the corporation's operational and capacity and sustainability. Point number 12 is promotion of organic fertilizer usage. In alignment with government's commitment to sustainable agriculture, the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation will continue to support the use of organic fertilizer. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this August Assembly, the Ministry of Agriculture, through the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, affirms its strong commitment to implementing the recommendation of this honorable committee and August House. We remain dedicated to strengthening institutional capacity, ensuring transparency and accountability, and building confidence among stakeholders to ensure food security and the agricultural sector of our nation. We thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, pursuant to Order 48.6 of the Standing Orders, and I quote, after the statement has been delivered in the Assembly, a period of questions on the statement, which shall last no more than 1 hour, may then ensue. The Speaker shall determine the period taking into account the content of the statement, the number of members, wishing
Another. He's back. Speaker is back.
Honorable members, let me read again. Pursuant to Order 48.6 of the Standing Orders, and I quote, after the statement has been delivered in the Assembly, a period of questions on the statement, which shall last not more than 1 hour, may then ensue. The Speaker shall determine the period, taking into consideration the content of the statement, the number of members wishing to ask questions, and the pressure of other businesses. May I now invite honorable members to ask questions relating to the minister's statement or reply. Honorable member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for this response. Honorable Minister, you said improvement of electronic payment system. How do you see this, and what are the success stories? Because communities still find it very difficult to access their money, whether the money wallet or whatever it is, and this lead to a death of a farmer who went up to Farafenye on the way, had an accident, only to look for this money. So could we have an alternative? You know, to me, I see that over ambitious. So whether there are alternatives where farmers can access their money. Once we Yeah. Honorable Speaker, can I continue?
Hello, mic testing.
All right, honorable members. All right, honorable member for Central Body, you have finished your question.
Thank you. No, I have only one.
You have only?
I have the second part.
No, you have only one question to ask.
No, in fact.
No, we are giving you one question to ask.
Honorable Speaker, it's a pregnant question. It's a pregnant question.
It's twins or triplets?
Yeah?
Twins or triplets?
Twins. Twins. Allow them to deliver safely. Please. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, last but not the least, the promotion of organic fertilizer. I want to see how committed the government of the bill. Because, yes, we know chemical fertilizer, but organic fertilizer, what strategy and how can we inform this House that the steps taken to promote organic fertilizer application in the Gambia?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Central Badibu. First, even though you claimed a farmer died in an attempt to collect their money, we cannot independently verify that. However, I will express condolence to the bereaved family if that has taken place. Nonetheless, the issue of electronic payment seems to be the way forward. It's the most modern way of paying people, and nobody, and actually, even in this house, I don't think anybody would want to do away with your waves and your electronic apps of your banks, different banks. And I don't think farmers are any different. The sub-region, most countries in the sub-region are using this electronic payment system, and Gambia is no exception. The issue is it needs to be improved, and that is why we thank the committee for the work. And in our response, if you look at response point 1, it says, for instance, the corporation engaged financial service operators to have more contracts with cash-out agents to ensure access to cash and timely payment. The problem is not electronic payment. The problem has been minimum cash-out agents, less access to cash, and untimely payment. And what the committee has recommended, this is exactly what National Food Security and Marketing Corporation intends to do, is to expand the contracts with cash-out agents, improve access to cash, and improve timely payment. And we think once that is done, payment to farmers electronically improves security, improves safety, improves their bankability, and also helps us in our data building. So I think we intend to continue, but intend to continue in an improved version. Thank you. The second point was how serious is the government of the Gambia in the use of organic fertilizer? The government of the Republic of the Gambia procured over 6,000 metric tons of fertilizer, which is at the cost of nearly $100 million, and is distributing it to the farmers at no cost. There is no more seriousness than that. Organic, yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Organic fertilizer. 6,000 tons of organic fertilizer procured by the government, distributing it to the farmers at no cost. There is no proof of seriousness more than that.
Honorable member for...
Can I observe?
Observe.
No, I just want clarification. My was not on importation of organic, but how best we are going to promote us to make our own organic fertilizer. Not importation, it's very expensive.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Member, this 6,000 metric tons, not a kilogram is imported into this country. It's 100% locally made and 100%. I think if your intention is to have the organic fertilizer made in the Gambia and supplied to the farmers, I'm informing you that 100% of the organic fertilizer, the 6,000 tons, was locally made, locally procured, and distributed to our Gambian farmers at no cost.
Honorable member for Upper Newry.
Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. And Honorable Minister, I thank you so much for ably responding to the resolutions. Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask the Honorable Minister on point 5, where he said, where we recommend enhanced oversight by the Department of Cooperative Development. This particular department is somehow handicapped. They don't have the critical masses, like they don't have the account, they don't have the procurement officer, they don't have human resource officer, they don't have a storekeeper. And their pickup was seized by the Office of the President during the last President's meeting. People told they still cannot have it. Their participation into the international meetings is somehow lacking because of lack of fund or whatsoever, you know. And the infrastructure where they are working, the space is so small and they need to be expanded. How are your office ready to support this particular department to be able to coordinate the cooperative sectors in the country? And the other thing is the recapitalization of BGC. Why not you reintroduce it to the cabinet again and fine-tune it and see how best the Minister of Finance and the cabinet can be prepared, more
point
prepared
of order, Honorable Speaker.
to support the Ministry,
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
to support the GGC, Department of...
Honorable, somebody is, who is that?
Pony Bintang Karan.
Pony Bintang, yes.
Honorable Speaker, I'm asking on point of order 43.3. 43.3. Yes. The time taken to ask supplementary questions shall be no longer. No,
Honorable member, leave where he says it rightly or wrongly. You cannot prevent him from saying what he wants to say. Please allow him say what he wants to say.
The time taken to ask a supplementary question shall not be longer than 1 minute. And the question that is being raised by the member for Open Yomi is more than 1 minute.
Other questions? When you ask the minister question time, can you continue?
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. So I am just telling you that don't you think it's important for you to reintroduce the capitalization of GGC back to the cabinet so that you can be more prepared and the Minister of Finance can be more prepared to support the corporation and also the promotion of organic fertilizer. And we thank you so much for providing 6,000 metric tons of organic fertilizer to Gambian farmers free of charge. Honorable Minister, when we went on tour, we visited a farmer's field where we found out that, you know, the farmer said that in the previous year, you know, he has all the disease prevalence in his farm and pest infestation were so prevalent. But like when he applied this organic fertilizer, that has drastically reduced the pest and disease prevalence on his crop. So like, meaning that if you continue supporting the farmers on the usage of organic fertilizer, it will regain our soil fertility back. So we are asking you, you know, to be open more, you know, where many of the organic fertilizer producers can come into play, and you can also give them the support they need. Thank you so much.
Honorable members, let me remind you, he's the chairman of the Agri Committee. That's why I let him go. But you are to ask your questions. Ask questions, and then the minister will respond. If you have anything relevant on what he has responded, you ask questions. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Opanyomi and Chairman of the Agri Subcommittee in the National Assembly. First, we completely agree with you regarding the capacity gap at the Department of Cooperative Development. We must also acknowledge the fact that the Department of Cooperative Development is the newest department under my ministry. It just got newly created. The Registrar General appointed, and he's in the process of building the entire team. It has some financial challenges, given that it's a department and mainly surviving on allocated funds from the GLF. Of course, it is working hand in hand with not only the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, but also it's being supported by our projects. However, we are aware of this deficit that you have mentioned, and I think we will continue to work on improving the department as we go. In fact, they've done a tremendous job this year in organizing all the cooperative societies, all the way to the level of the apex body. And I think we commend them for that. Regarding the reintroduction of the recapitalization for GGC, this recapitalization is absolutely vital for GGC's revival and also to be able to execute their mandate. I think your committee had started an engagement that involved all the stakeholders. That was agriculture, finance, trade. We were all called by your committee. I think I will implore on your honorable committee to continue that engagement and reshape the possibility of the recapitalization. However, reintroducing another cabinet paper to that effect may just be another merry-go-round. What I will implore on you, Chairman, and the committee, and potentially this August Assembly, is to continue that stakeholder engagement and see what is possible. Because the Ministry of Agriculture, we wrote a 4- or 5-year plan and shared it with the Ministry of Finance. I think they are still looking at it. Of course, it has taken a little longer than we would have preferred. However, we all understand the constraints, and I think the engagement should be continued and be centralized around your committee. And regarding organic fertilizer, different from what the ministry bought, the Roots project and the Giraffe project, most of these World Bank funded projects are very particular about the use of organic fertilizer. And all our vegetable gardens, the vegetable growers, both men and women, are trained how to produce organic fertilizer. In fact, if you go to those gardens, the facility is even created for them to be able to make their own organic fertilizer. So apart from what the government procure, the ministry is fully aware for long-term sustainability, people must be trained and people must be interested and they must see the benefit. Like you said, this farmer has suffered less pest infestation because of the use of organic fertilizer. I think once they see the dividend, they will be easily motivated. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I was part of the committee's engagement with the farmers at their various circles. During this committee's engagement, all the farmers that we spoke to, they are against the electronic payments, 100% against the payment of electronic. As a ministry, according to your response, I understand that the ministry is improving, is making some improvement to make sure that electronic payments are done accordingly. As a ministry, are you willing or prepared to come with a different method to make sure that you go away with the electronic payment?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Member for Bakau. I will acknowledge your engagement with the farmers and thank you for that. However, that will not be evidence-based, and the amount of data that the National Food Security and Processing Marketing Corporation has does not indicate an overwhelming number of farmers against electronic payment. We intend to improve. I think the farmers are not against the payment. The farmers are against the hurdles they go through to get the payment. The goal of the ministry is to make it better. We intend to continue with the electronic payment, like I said earlier, but we intend to continue with a better version. More access to cash out, more access to cash, and more timely payments. I think once these are in place, the farmers would not go through what they went through in the past season, and we acknowledge their suffering in the last season. This was the first time it was done, and I think it will be better in the 2025 trading season. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member for Pony Kansala.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. If I may ask, who is NFF SPMC collaborating with, in terms of improving this electronic payment system? As you've indicated, farmers are complaining the hurdle that they are facing through this payment. Who are they collaborating with? And is there any seesaw of their collaboration based on the current status quo of the hurdles?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for the Councillor. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation is in collaboration with Q Money, and this was the platform that were used last year, and this is the platform that we intend to use in the coming season, of course, plus or minus other factors. However, during the last season, our experience was less than optimal, and factors have been elicited why it was less than optimal. And these included the minimum number of cash out places, the untimely payment, but also the lack of enough cash for even the few cash outs that were in place. Now that these things have been identified, the team is fully aware of this. In collaboration with the financier, that is the organization they are working with, that is the Q group, they intend to have a lot more cash out. They intend to have a lot more cash with individual agents that are on the ground, and that will improve the timely payment. So yes, Q Money is the partner that has been working with the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Nyamina West.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, all the points noted here were very important, but as a member of the committee, point number 4 was very dear to us. Provision of modern screening equipment. I want the Honorable Minister to tell us how far and what level have they gone in assessing or purchasing these equipments and make them available to farmers by next season. That also brings us to, like the last sentence, also strict enforcement will be applied to ensure mandatory screening. Could he also share to us what are those strict reinforcements measures that they will take against sectors that are not adhering to this screening, whether there are punishments or there are also motivations for those who are adhering to this screening techniques. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Nyamina West. Yes, you are right. Point number 4, I said, the corporation has plans to buy standardized and modern screening equipment powered by a diesel motor. The equipment will be supplied to all sectors before the commencement of the next trading season. So this will be in place before this December trading season. This equipment will be owned by the societies, the cooperative societies. They will pay the National Food Security Corporation in overtime. That will be deducted from their commission, and then it will be their own equipment. As far as mandatory screening enforcement, I think if you look at number 8, it says the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation will implement strict enforcement to ensure that no depot accepts groundnut that have not been screened at the SECO level, thereby safeguarding quality assurance and market credibility. So what is going to happen is the depot will not accept any nut that is brought that has not been screened at the SECO level. And what I'm even getting from my thing here is the procurement is already in place, and I think they've received, if not received from the SECOs, on-screen nuts will be rejected at the depot level. So what they are saying technically is, as far as the machines are concerned, the procurement has already begun, and they expect to have them before the season starts and distribute them across all the SECOs. And all groundnuts that are not screened at the SECOs will not be accepted at the depots. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you spoke about improving access to cash, which is one of the most important things so far as this whole document is concerned to me. At one point in time, the farming was far much easier than them accessing the fund for the farmers. Because we cannot expect a farmer who farm in Fonyi to come and get your cash in the combos. So you said you are going to improve access to cash, but how do you intend to improve access to cash?
That's okay. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. And thank you, Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai. I think I will repeat this. It says, the corporation has engaged financial service operators to have more contracts with cash out agents. That means we need to have a lot more agents. Point one. Point two, to ensure that there is enough cash with those cash out agents to be able to do timely payment. So I think the problem is, yes, there has not been any farmer that is from Fonyi that came to Combo to receive his money, even though that's a little bit of an overstretch. However, there has been farmers that have moved from point A to point B to get their money, and we acknowledge and accept that. Nonetheless, if we improve the number of cash out agents, if we increase the number of cash out agents, there will be no need for farmers to travel from point A to point B to get their money. And that's what exactly we intend to do. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, on point 11, fulfillment of recapitalization commitments. The recapitalization is still not forthcoming, even after cabinet approval. Honorable Speaker, you made mention and laid emphasis on the importance of this recapitalization. And since 2003, 2023, this recapitalization was saying we are now in the last quarter of 2025, almost close to 2 years now. And you are part of the cabinet that approved this thing, including the head of state. And your primary role as a minister is to advise the president on policy direction. Why don't you take this opportunity to meet the president one-to-one and advise him the importance, as when we have meetings, especially the realities that we are out, so that there can be a kind of NTC model and engage in a lot of issues. Because all this, what we are talking about, they need to be recapitalized to perform that. And for the Gambian people, to avoid any kind of problem in respect to the execution of their mandate. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Brikama South. Yes, I concur with you. There is serious need for the recapitalization, and that was the trigger for me to prepare the cabinet paper for the recapitalization to have taken effect. However, there are challenges at the Ministry of Finance to be able to implement this recapitalization. And like I humbly advise the chairperson of the subcommittee on agriculture and rural development, is for his committee to continue the engagement that they have already started by inviting all the stakeholders and find out or chart the way forward as far as this recapitalization is concerned. And I think you people are the custodians of the budget, and the recapitalization is supposed to come from the budget. I think the engagement that will include the Ministry of Agriculture, Finance, Trade, and the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation should be able to yield dividend instead of having to re-engage cabinet on this. This was a cabinet decision, and until now, it has not been reversed, so it is still in effect, and I don't intend to re-engage cabinet on this. I would continue to work with the subcommittee on a bilateral or a stakeholder forum where the Ministry of Finance is invited, Agriculture, and the National Food Security, so that we can understand what their challenges are, but what the implementation pattern will be. Thank you.
Yeah, and honorable members, I think the honorable chairman, agricultural committee chairperson, together with the committee, approval is granted. Probably funding may be the problem. Put the stakeholders together, including the honorable minister himself, as an oversight institution. Let them give you details and the reasons why it's not happening, and you together find a common way to make it happen. Individually at this level, that's where it will hang. Unless you, as an oversight body, as representative of the people who are very much interested in this to be done, to follow it up and put them together. Honorable Member for Kiang East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to take the Honorable Minister to point 8 of his report, where he was talking about mandatory screening. I want to ask, what quality parameters are you screening? I'm asking this question because I don't want a situation where farmers unknowingly walk into the circles only for their produce to be rejected because of quality issues that they don't understand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Kiang East. When we say mandatory screening, we mean at the depot. No farmer's groundnuts will be rejected at the depot level. Once the farmer gets to the depot, the nuts will be screened, primarily to ensure there are no foreign materials. There are nothing in the bag other than groundnuts. There are no stones or any other material to increase the weight other than groundnut. And that is very basic. Once that is done, those nuts now will be transported to the depot. When we say mandatory screening enforcement on point 8, is if the society, that's the cooperative SECO president or the cooperative society, who primarily are responsible for transporting the groundnuts from the SECOs to the depots, if they bring any number of nuts that have not been screened at the SECO, they'll be rejected at the level of the depot. But no farmer will be rejected at the level of the SECO because the screening is very basic, it's just the removal of foreign materials. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Minister. For clarity, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, I just want to know whether there was any consultation before the implementation of this mobile money for the farmers, and if there is, in what form was it done, and what were the main challenges that these farmers face in terms of using the mobile money for confidentiality. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring. The consultation was extensive. All SECO presidents in this country were invited by the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation. They all underwent training on how to use the platform, and they all accepted the use of the platform. They were all issued at no cost the mobile phones to use in this platform, and the Department of Cooperative Development has been in this picture. The ministry is in the picture. Farmer organizations, let's say NECOFAR, that is the apex body of the farmer organization, they have been in the picture. So the consultation has been widespread and acceptance has been great. But when the glitches occur, of course, it will bring some bottlenecks. And I think that is what was identified. And our role now is to solve those bottlenecks. But the consultation was widespread. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Tumanna.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your wonderful response. In your response number 2, you did mention about capacity building, and of course, capacity building of the SECO presidents and relevant SECO president, and of course relevant personnels. And of course, in 3 also you did mention about capacity building of the SECO president. You know, the concern that I'm having there, most of our these SECO presidents are very too old. I don't know. That's my concern because we are talking here about electronic payment system. So an old man like our SECO presidents, how are you going to manage with them with regard to that? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Member for Kumana. In fact, that explains why we said training for SECO president and relevant personnel. Because almost all, if not all, nearly 99% of these SECO presidents have younger and more tech-savvy personnel that are assisting them in their works. So these are the people we refer to here as relevant personnel, and these are the people that we intend to include in the capacity building together with the presidents of the SECO society. Unfortunately, SECO presidents are chosen by the local community. It has a lot of dimension. It is managed by the Department of Cooperative Development. We cannot dictate who they make their cooperative president. However, we have encouraged them and supported them in getting younger and more tech-savvy personnel to assist them in the execution of their function, and we intend to build their capacity along the way. Thank you.
You know, SECO presidents, as you said, are selected by the very people. Let them select young people. Let's talk to our people to elect younger people. Honorable Member for Basse.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you so much with your department for considering and answering to the concerns of the farmers. Honorable Minister, on your response number 9, rehabilitation of depots, you do mention that rehabilitation have already started, especially in Basse South, WAF. Is there any consideration in fencing the premises and also the road network linking to these depots, because it is at a very bad dilapidated situation?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Basse. We will take note of your concern, that is the access to the Basse WAF regarding the feeder road, and also the issue of fencing. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation will take note of that, and if it fits in our budget and in our priorities, we will definitely take a look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Agriculture.
Speaker. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
For ably responding to the questions posed by honorable members.
I've raised my tag, and until your clerk told me he has seen me. Yes, seen.
Honorable, I am having a list that you are aware of.
Yes, but
I have not jumped your name.
Yeah, but I raised my tag.
You know, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I have not jumped your name. All the names written, I have called them. Clerk, respond to him. Where is he? I see no reason why he will see a tag and ignore it. It's either you did not put it up, or you put it up at a time probably that he was not seen. And usually I hear members call their attention. Why don't you call his attention? You call, and
I called his name. He saw me. I raised
and
my
then
tag. He
no,
yes.
And then did he respond to you?
Yes, he told me yes.
He told you yes.
Yes.
Anyway, the Honorable Cheney is not around. Yeah, maybe invite your question, please. Next time I will not take the question.
Honorable Minister, I heard you in your response to 2 or 3 questions, where you stress about 6,000 tons, metric tons of organic fertilizer, bought by the government and distributed to farmers for no cost. Was this, you said about $100 million, was this from national coffers? If it was, how much was it sold to the farmers, and why do you say it was at no cost?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Member for Kiang. I guess when we say no cost, then we don't ask for how much. No cost is no cost, it's free. So it was given to the farmers at no cost. That means they were given without paying a dollar. But yes, the money is from the GLF, and it was bought since 2024, and the distribution is ongoing. If you have any people who are interested, liaise with the Directorate of the Department of Agriculture in that region for support. Thank you.
Honorable members, let me thank the Honorable Minister of Agriculture on your behalf for ably responding to your questions. Took time and answered in detail your concerns. And to all of you for your participation. Honorable Minister, we are grateful. Thank you very much. Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Motion, be it resolved that this August for the protection of customary lands and fair land governance in the Gambia by the Honorable Suleiman Sao, member for Central Badi.
Thank you very much, honorable members. May I now invite the honorable member for Central Badibu to table his motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, honorable members of the House. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Riambulia as land in the Gambia represent not only property but identity, livelihood, inheritance, and the foundation of rural dignity. Recognizing that the majority of Gambians, especially in rural areas, access land through customary tenure systems passed down through family and clan. Noting with concern the increasing cases of land grabbing and speculative buying by individuals with political or financial power, forced evictions, and disputes due to weak legal protection for customary land owners. The lack of legal documentation, land title registration, and affordable dispute resolution mechanism for families. Further noting the challenges faced by women and youth in accessing land despite playing a vital role in agriculture and community development. Recalling the Constitution of the Gambia and the principles of the National Land Policy, which guarantee fair and equitable access to land and prohibit the arbitrary deprivation of property. Honorable Speaker and honorable members of the House, resolution be resolved that this Honorable Assembly calls upon the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government, and Religious Affairs to immediately conduct a comprehensive review of land disputes and eviction involving customary land across the country. 2. Recommends the urgent establishment of a National Land Rights Commission to mediate land conflicts, to protect communal land systems, develop a customary land registry under local authorities. 3. Urges the Ministry of Justice to draft and present a customary land security bill within 12 months. To provide legal recognition of customary land ownership, guarantee protection from arbitrary seizure, ensure fair compensation in cases of compulsory acquisition. 4. Mandate the Select Committee on on regional government and lands to conduct public hearings across all regions to gather testimonies from landowners, Alkalolu, and affected communities. Encourages capacity building for district tribunals and local government land boards, including training in legal process, gender sensitivity, and transparent decision-making process. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Central Badibu. Any seconder honorable members? Huh? Honorable Member for Opanyumi.
Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I raise a second motion and also intended to take part in the debate. Honorable Speaker, this particular motion, I think, is not controversial, and we need to make sure that peace prevails in our communities. And the only way we can make sure peace prevails in our communities is by putting the laws in place that can safeguard all the parties. Honorable Speaker, notwithstanding, in the resolution 2.2, the Honorable Member on the move of the motion, Honorable Member for Central Badibu, says that they recommend the urgent establishment of a National Land Rights Commission. So I'm suggesting that, there is already an established land commission in the country, and there is no need to establish any, but like we can just strengthen them by adding the rights, land right into that, so that the commission can be more strengthened somehow. And also, Honorable Speaker, the resolution 3, which is the 2.3, where the Honorable Member also stated that to urge the Ministry of Justice to draft and present a customary land security bill within 12 months for the Assembly. I am with the assertion that the Honorable Member should have reduced this to 6 months instead of 12 months, to make sure that this, needed law is somehow fast-tracked, so that our communities can be protected and peace can prevail somehow. Because there's always done this with everywhere, And also, Resolution 4, whether you mandated the Select Committee on Lands and Regional Government or not, they already have the mandate to do an oversight on all the alcalos. So I don't think there is any need to have this in the resolution. So those are the points, I just highlighted, and I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Member, thank you for bringing this important motion to the Assembly. Thank you.
But it has been moved and seconded. I now put the question. It has been moved and seconded that this Honorable Assembly do consider the motion for the protection of customary land rights and fair land governance in the Gambia. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. I now invite the Honorable Member Puponyi Kansala.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I thank the mover of the motion, Honorable Member for Central Badibu, indicating the protection of customary land rights and fair land governance. Honorable Speaker, I think this is one of the best motion in this session. Honorable Speaker, looking at the current status quo of land grabbing within the provinces and also the rural and also urban area, I think the motion is timely and it's in line, as we've seen a lot of land grabbing where security forces have been used as tools to arbitrarily differentiate who owns what and who owns not. Looking at the current status quo that is going on in Sukuta, we've seen a scene that I think with this motion will address some of those irregularities. Looking at this point one, that says calling on the Minister of Land, Regional Government, and Religious Affairs to immediately conduct a comprehensive review of land dispute and eviction involving customary land across the country. Looking at our area in Fonis, going down to the Kiangs, in the Combos, this is a matter that is taking up this country, where if care is not taken, it will evolve to serious consequences in terms of insecurity. And I think the member is right. And again, also looking at the recommendation 2, that says, as what Honorable Member of Nyumi says, hence we have a National Land Right Commission. If this commission is up and running, I think it will be able to at least amicably solve some of those issues that are at hand. Honorable Speaker, and finally also, we believe that lands are customary owned. So if those ownership is not also in line put by laws, it will also defeat the purpose. And I am also in agreement of point 3 where it says the customary land security bill within, instead of 12 months, I agree with the member, for 6 months. And I think it will do the needful. And this is the way forward. And I also congratulate the member and thank you very much for bringing this motion. And I think all of us should join in hands to make sure this motion is treated with urgency and with resolute to make sure it iron out the tears of landowners in this country. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member for Kalendeng Kunya. Honorable members, avoid repetition and we don't take more than 3 minutes because we have so many people to talk.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Shao, the mover of the motion. This is a very important matter in this country. Land is a very important asset for human life, and that's where we dwell. That's where that is the commodity we use to do farming activities. And it is important that there is legal mechanisms amongst people to safeguard each other's interests with regards to ownership of that particular land. And recently, we've seen, like the Honorable Member of California Council has said, an eruption of conflicts in certain regions. He mentioned Sukuta, but also not only Sukuta, there is an incident between Katong and Berending. Gunjur and Berending, that also extends to, involves now Katong. And such instances, if there is no strong legal instruments, it can erupt to other conflicts, God forbid. But I just want to say that there are no sort of laws also in the Gambia. I don't think, it might also be lack of implementation because there is State Land Act 1991, there is a registration of deeds, Land Acquisition and Compensation, Land Act for regions. There are laws. So I think some of these laws, it might not necessarily mean we bring new laws, but to review these existing laws and see where the gaps are, so that we address this. I'm in line with the mover of the motion also for the committee to go around these conflict-prone areas to consult people so as to come and adequately advise the assembly. I think it's a very important move. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think you said it all. We try to encourage enforcement of already the legal instruments available. Yes, thank you very much. And before I go further, there is this issue of mandate on number 4, mandate, and the members are saying that the committee already has the mandate. So what you are now doing, you are urging the committee. Huh? Yeah, so I think you can put up that proposal to amend it so that it can be urged the committee to, when we come there, you will do the necessary ones. Now, Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I thank the mover of the motion. As said by my colleagues, this is a non-controversial motion, and I believe each and every member, when given the floor, will give a blessing to the motion. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as you may agree with me, all these land problems in the country are caused by failing to implement our local government laws. But with the recommendations made by the Honorable Member for Central Body and the mover of the motion, if such recommendations are put in implementation, I guess when it comes to all these land issues, everything will become to an ease. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I thank you very much for giving me the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Bakau. I wish every member could be as precise as you are. Honorable Member for Bongali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And thank you, the mover of the motion. I think this also make it the very best motion that has been laid here in this chamber. Honorable Speaker, issue of this land dispute is a problem that is across the country. For instance, even in Fonyi, where we have best land tenure system in this whole country, whereby every place has been clearly known to everybody that this particular place belongs to this particular people. But still now we are even facing that challenge. So bringing law that will govern or regulate that issues, will be very important. Honorable Speaker, I may also not want to take much time. I will also give my blessing to this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you have emulated the Honorable Member for Bakau. Congratulations. Honorable Member for Tumanna.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think I will also join my colleagues to thank the mover of the motion, and also urge my fellow National Assembly members to please give our blessing to it with the recommendations. Honorable Speaker, my point is, that is point 5, whereby it says that encourage capacity building. I think this is very important, because there are some problems that are going on is as a result of our lack of understandings of our local laws that are governing the issues of land. I think when we call for capacity building for our district tribunals and our local government authorities, I think that will be very important on issues like legal processing, gender sensitivity, and also land banking. I think these are very important. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Member for Tumanna, you're doing very well. Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Member for Central Baribu, thank you very much for coming up with this important matter. Issues of land are very sensitive, and for it to be that sensitive, it is difficult for authorities to engage with communities and to resolve the land conflict. I can say in my constituency, I have more than 4 or 5 communities which are having issues as far as this is concerned. Some are going to court still, between community and community are going to court over land. How do you expect peace to prevail amongst them when they already are in conflict going to court? The 2 neighbors community less than 1 kilometer going to court, conflict over land. It is happening everywhere. And my constituency is not an exception of this. But however, Honorable Member for Central Baribu, it is important that you put 12 months, and I will urge my colleagues, members to look at that 12 months they are trying to reduce to 6 months. Because this is complex and it requires a thorough consultation, a wider consultation across the country, and bring up all the stakeholders. So that cannot be done within 6 months. It's going to be very difficult to have it done as critical as land policy. to have it done within 6 months, to be laid in Parliament for promulgation. That would be very much difficult. So let us not tie up the ministry that much. To give them that, sort of period of time. Let's give them a wider time. They can be able to do more consultation with, the indigents across the country, because issues differ from community to community. So as a result of that, so I would also want to give my blessing to your most honorable member for Central Baribu, and I want to say thank you very much for coming up with this.
Thank you very much, honorable member for Kiang West. All between the ring. Honorable member for Sani Mentoring.
Again, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Honorable Member for Central Body, we thank you very much for coming up with this very, very important motion before the Parliament. It is very important because there are lots of land disputes within our region, and which it should be a fear for everybody. And Honorable Speaker, looking at as I said, it is timely, but then also looking at the motion that is trying to address some of the areas or the challenges that most people are encountering nowadays with regards to land. Someone has already mentioned about Sukuta, and of course Sukuta Jabang of recent. There was a lot of chaos within the Palamri trees and of course the citizens or the citizens of Jabang. Hadn't been the grace of Allah, that it would have been something else, may God forbid. With all the efforts that I did, trying to talk to the youth and of course trying to talk to the paramilitaries to also try to see how best they can cease fire of throwing the tear gas within the houses and of course to the youth as well. And Honorable Speaker, when you look at Salaji as well, in the motion, it is also very, very important that it is mentioned that mediation, the conflicts are also for the ministry, which is also very important. That might also be another way of trying to see how best they can remedy the situation of land disputes within people. And then ensuring that there is fair compensation in cases of compulsory accusation of to be part of the suggestion to be brought before the Parliament with regards to the bill, if the bill is ready with the Minister of Justice. So, as I said, just not to take more time and then to be repeating what other members have already talked about. It is very timely. And then on that note, Honorable Speaker and, of course, Honorable Member for Badibu, Central Badibu, thank you very much. Thank you so much for bringing up such a motion. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Badibu Central for bringing forward this very important motion. It's quite a coincidence because I'm just from Study Tour representing the Regional Government and Lands Committee, whereby the sole purpose of our visit was to get hands-on ideas as to exactly how to work on the implementation of our just recently passed land policy. So it's very important for this August body to understand that just a month ago, Cabinet approved the National Land Policy, which has been ongoing. It has already been approved. So the reason for the study tour was to go and learn best practices so as to know how to go about the implementation process of it. So it's quite a coincidence because, let's say, the issue of legal documentation, land title registration, accommodation, affordable dispute resolution mechanisms for poor families, you understand, the issue of real estate agents, land grabbing, land banking, all these issues, we are looking into. Ghana had a land policy since 1999, and we are just having ours 2025. So we felt that it was the right place to be, and we learned so much and gathered so much from it. And all the facets of issues that have been listed have already been done by them, and they were able to even give us some of the challenges they went through before even having all these things put in place. Gambia currently 80% of our total land is customary. Just 20% is statutory land, basically. So I concur with the Honourable Member for Kiang West. The issue of land is very, very sensitive, And also part of what we learned from it, they are also very open as to exactly how challenging it was for them to actually put all these processes in place. So in as much as maybe we might be very, I would say enthusiastic when it comes to pushing this forward, I think it's very important to also understand that I think we are in the right space actually, because the policy has just been passed. So we're focusing on the implementation of things as we speak. The issue of digitization also was discussed, and tools we are taking as to exactly how to incorporate it into the policy implementation process. Also, it's very important to put it to this assembly that Gambia do not have any licensed surveyor. There is no licensed surveyor in the Gambia. We only used to have one. I forgot the name, but he's existing. Francis Jones, Mr. Francis Jones, but he's very elderly now. And as we speak, there is no licensed surveyor in this country, as we speak. So people have to be outsourced to really help us when it comes to consultancy issues to pass this through. So these are all issues that we are highlighted, and then we realize that we have to invest in the young people who are might be interested in these areas to be able to at least start getting surveyors. Because without having a proper surveyor, you cannot really push these things forward because they are very sensitive. Just to conclude, Honorable Speaker, members also mentioned the issues of enforcement, consultations, to get inputs, and also to finalize on things. We also have to have the relevant act to support the policy as well. So these are all things that are already ongoing, and I feel that we are in the right footing because I'm just from the study tour, and maybe in the next month or so, the policy implementation process will start. And all these things that you guys have been highlighted, will be reflected here. I just wanted to update this August body, basically, based on all these things that we are speaking on. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I beg to thank you.
Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Some previous speakers have said that the motion is not controversial. Yes, indeed, the motion is controversial. Controversial in the sense that it doesn't have a direction. But I would thank the mover of the motion for including land grabbing. Why I say it's controversial, because it is introducing some elements that are already established in the country, like some members have said. The Lands and Regions Act 1945. We also have a Land Commission Act 2007 and the State Land Act 2007. The argument should be centered on weak enforcement. And for our case, we, the people living in the greater Banjul area, we, the people living in the greater Banjul area, what we are experiencing is land grabbing and land encroachment, which is mainly caused by the alcalos. You will see one land which have 3 or 4 owners with the same document from the alcalo. So I would encourage the mover of the motion to also work on, or we can all work as a parliament and encourage the state, the government, to monitor these alcalos, the way and manner in which they give out documents. And another issue would be, like we said, I have an experience. There was an issue in Nyanija, the Nyanija Bolong. Our people had an issue with people from Bati. But when that matter was taken to the courts, this was during the time of Yaya Jammeh, they wanted to take a vast piece of land that belongs to our family. But when the matter was taken to the courts, when they dip in the archives, they've seen that that area belongs to Nyanija Bolong. So these are here. So, and again, what we should also stress on, we have seen many Gambians are battling with land cases in the courts, even the real estates. They are selling lands that are not legal, especially in this area, Combo North. There is a Bojang clan, a family. How can you live in Serekunda and start to claim all the way to Burfoot, saying that your grandparents were farming there? That is practically impossible. And there are alcalos in all those settlements. But these people will just go around there, look at those lands that are not fenced, that belongs to people, or that are half fenced, and then claim that that is their land and sell it to other people. So these are issues that the state should really look at. Honorable Speaker, on that note, I submit. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would want to thank the mover of this motion, Honorable Central Badibu. Honorable Central Badibu, thank you so much. Honorable Speaker, the issue of land is of paramount to the people of the Gambia, because we have been witnessing so many land conflicts across the country. But it is mostly common within the Greater Banjul area. But if there is a legal instrument available, it will prevent some of those conflict. For example, we have been witnessing illegal seizure of private land. Powerful people usually take an advantage over powerless people to take their land from them. But if there is legal framework, that will of course be reduced. Honorable Speaker, I could remember when I was young, there was of course a conflict between two communities in my area. And those communities, there was almost a bloodshed. Then there was something like, there was no legal framework. But I believe if there is legal framework, that will prevent a lot of issues concerning or illegal seizure of land. Honorable Speaker, I would want to say this at the top of my voice. Gambia, we have a problem of land. Sometimes the owners of land will sell a land to 3 individuals or even 5 individuals. That has created a lot of problems for the people. But I believe if this motion is, of course, been accepted by this parliament, it will reduce some of those issues. I will, of course, align myself to those members who believe that by adopting this motion, we are going to have less problem in our country in terms of land issue. Honorable Speaker, on that note,
All right, thank you very much. Honorable, I will now invite the mover of the motion, as the Honorable Member for Central Badibu, to respond to issues raised and to wind up the debate, and also to put up your most probable motion for amendment to that very particular request you made from on page number 4 of your recommendation, your solution. Mandate the Select Committee on Regional Government.
Can I come now?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank all the members for supporting this important motion. It's not controversy, since the majority people was the first to endorse. Honorable Speaker, I just want to make a few clarifications here. This motion is very specific. It's very smart, measurable, and time-bound. Now, the commissions that they are talking about, the commissions are very broad. And the commissions we are created, like the commission that Honorable Member of Serekunda 2018, that commission aimed to look into the past abuses of power and land losses by the previous government. My motion is not tailored in that direction. The motion that I have today is about land rights. Let's be focused. Let's be specific. Every motion or every commission have their own objectives, but mine is about ownership. And I think, if you look at the motion, it's very clear. Let's be specific with that. Though there are other policies, that could be, use for us to achieve what we want. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank all the members. As I said, they all spoke well and in brief. Now, if you look at the mandate, mandate is a language. It means the committee to act, to urge the committee. It is even to mandate the committee. We know that that's the function of the committee. But now it's the motion that is now going to ask them to do this. That's why we say we mandate the committee to do this, mean to urge. But if you want us to change the language, we can change.
Mandate and urge are different. Mandate.
Yeah, it's already there. That's what I'm saying.
What the members are saying is the mandate is already there. So now you are asking them to use some of the powers given to them to do this particular one. Yes, that's no mandate.
So I think the suggestion is urge.
Urge.
Okay, I want to move a motion. We amend instead of mandate, urge.
It's seconded by the member for Chame. All right, it's moved and seconded that we amend number 4 of the resolution from mandate to urge. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. And therefore, the amendment is carried. Carry on, Honorable.
Maintain 12 months, as alluded by member of Kiang East. Because when we say within 12 months, it could be less than 12 months. So let's make it within 12 months. So the preparation and the Kiang West, sorry. The preparations and the dialogue, I think 12 months is okay. Yeah. So, Honorable Speaker, I think these are the few observations that I've made. And to mediate land conflicts, we had about honorable members complaining their own constituencies. But this is across. It's not only limited to rural or urban. We have been seeing it happening in our community. So we want a land right commission in this country to look at these issues with speed. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Central Badibu and mover of the motion. And I think you are right that so far it's going to be consultative and it's nationwide. The motion is not specific to one area. It's a nationwide thing. We allow to give the government time to consult with all the relevant stakeholders. So thank you very much, Honorable Member for Central Badibu, for your wonderful motion, and to all honorable members for your contributions. Honorable members, before I put the question, let me just put the question first. Be it resolved that this Honorable Assembly do adopt the motion for the protection of customary land rights and fair land governance in the Gambia. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So once again, mover of the motion, Central Badibu, thank you, and all honorable members. Honorable members, it will look like tomorrow we may not have sittings. Yes, because the agenda, most of the people on the agenda are not within the Gambia. So I will have to adjourn to Wednesday. Be resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Wednesday, 24th September 2025. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. This Assembly now stands adjourned until Wednesday, 24th September 2025 at 10 a.m. prompt.